Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just jump right in because honestly, it is an incredibly exciting time in the tech world. Today, we're zooming in on the folding iPhone's strange shape. We've got our hands on a highly anticipated, totally mysterious mock-up of what looks to be the upcoming folding iPhone, specifically that much-rumored Ultra variant. And guys, this isn't just some random rendering. This intel comes straight out of a nondescript package from China, complete with that unmistakable orange factory tape. That tape basically screams, hey, you're looking at something straight off the manufacturing line. For years, literally years, we've all been asking, is Apple gonna do it? When's it finally gonna drop? Well, we finally have the physical dimensions and the core design philosophy of Apple's first foldable. And let me tell you, it is not at all what anyone expected.
I mean, just look at this quote. Was so strange this form factor, it's a little shorty. That perfectly captures the visceral shock of unboxing this thing for the very first time. When you finally slice through that orange tape and pull the mock-up out, your first reaction? It actually isn't awe at the engineering. It's total, utter confusion at the shape. Like the quote says, it's a little shorty. Instead of that tall, narrow candy bar shape we are all intimately familiar with, you know, the one in your pocket right now, this device features a bizarre, almost passport-like proportion. If you've seen the Pixel Fold, which already rocks an unusual aspect ratio, well, this takes that whole concept and pushes it into absolutely crazy territory.
So let's break down section 1, a very strange form factor, the so-called passport design. Right off the bat, this brings us to an immediate problem. Is this a major downgrade? I mean, when you hold this device in its closed, folded state, it really doesn't feel like a premium iPhone experience. Actually, scratch that. It feels like a massive compromise. Because of its awkward, wide, and kind of short proportions, using it folded just feels clunky. You are definitely not going to be doom scrolling through social media or typing out long emails like this. The closed state seems strictly intended for, you know, just answering a quick call or shooting off a rapid-fire text. As a primary screen, yeah, it feels like a major downgrade from your existing iPhone. Let's move right along to section 2, measuring the stubby design, where we break down the exact dimensions. To really understand this weird shape, we gotta pull out the calipers and look at the hard numbers. The crucial point here is the footprint, a height of a mere 117 millimeters and a width of about 84.27 millimeters. But check out that final row. That is the absolute showstopper. The unfolded thickness is just 5.2 millimeters at its thinnest point. That is astonishingly thin. To put that into perspective for you, an iPad Air is about 5.6 millimeters thick. So when you pop this device open, you're holding something that's actually thinner and highly comparable in that premium feel to an iPad Air. However, snap it shut and you get this number staring right back at you. 16.5 millimeters. Yep, that is the total thickness of this device when folded, including the camera array. 16.5 millimeters? That makes it fatter and stubbier than any other modern iPhone by a long shot. I mean, even knowing that upcoming models like the A20 Pro Max might get slightly thicker, this foldable is undeniably chunky when it's closed. It's wild. You have this incredible 5.2 millimeter sleekness when it's open, which directly contrasts with the 16.5 millimeter brick when it's folded in your pocket. Which naturally leads us to this fantastic new definition, the wobble champion. Because of that massive 16.5 millimeter total thickness, a huge chunk of which is literally just the camera bump, placing this phone on a flat desk creates this severe ramp-like incline. Bam! You are absolutely not going to be using this device while it's resting on a tabletop, whether it's folded or unfolded. The wobble is just way too extreme. It is fully 100% designed to be held in your hands. And that brings us to section 3, the pocketable iPad Nano, diving into the real magic here, the unfolded experience. Comparing these two states perfectly captures Apple's core intention here. See, other mainstream folding devices usually try to prioritize one-handed functionality in the folded state. They want it to feel like a normal phone first, right? And then a tablet second. Apple is doing the exact opposite. The folded state is heavily compromised, intended only for quick, basic tasks. The unfolded state, that is the priority mode. It feels great in the hand. It is entirely meant for watching videos, playing games, and consuming media. Which totally forces us to ask this critical question. Is this phone actually trying to be more like an iPad? Well, when you look closely at the physical hardware of the mock-up, the answer is kind of obvious. The interior curves of this foldable screen look absolutely identical to an iPad mini. Apple isn't building a phone that turns into a weird tablet. No, they are building a tiny tablet that just happens to fold. And honestly, that's exactly why we're calling it the iPad Nano. It's an incredibly thin, pocketable iPad. Because the device is shorter, remember that 117mm height we talked about? It actually fits way better in a standard pocket than some of those taller folding phones already on the market. It uses a very well-known iPad aspect ratio, and the hinge is highly robust, locking firmly into place to give you that rigid, really premium tablet feel. On to section 4, why go stubby? Let's uncover the hidden logic. Turns out going short and wide unlocks some incredible functional benefits. First off, when you unfold it, the center of gravity is significantly lower and way closer to your grip. It's super stable up top and entirely avoids that awkward top heaviness that plagues taller folding phones. Second, that extra width allows for a slightly wider, far more comfortable on-screen keyboard. But this last point, this is the absolute masterstroke: seamless iPad app mapping. Think about it. If Apple made a tall folding phone, developers would have to redesign all their apps for a totally unique, weird screen ratio. But by making it stubby, it unfolds into a standard iPad aspect ratio. Developers literally don't have to do a thing. Their existing iPad apps will map perfectly to this folding profile right out of the box. Now for section 5, the ultra compromise: cameras versus form factor. Take a look at this. The base folded depths of the phone, meaning the section with no camera hump at all, is 11mm. But the depth with the camera bump skyrockets to 16.5mm. In terms of ratio, the difference between the flat section and the camera section is absolutely massive. It is an enormous camera layout that adds intense thickness and, crucially, weight to the top of the device. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why the phone is so short. You simply can't downgrade the cameras and still call it the iPhone Ultra, right? Apple totally refused to compromise on camera performance. They insisted on putting a massive, serious camera layout on this foldable. But if you put a massive, heavy camera at the top of a tall, folding phone, you create a terrible weight imbalance. The thing would constantly want to flip right out of your hands. So to accommodate that heavy Ultra camera array without making the phone hopelessly top-heavy, they shrank the entire device down. They made it shorter to lower the center of gravity, perfectly balancing that massive camera bump. Which brings us to our final thought. We've seen the brilliant, hidden logic behind the folding iPhone's strange shape. We've seen how it perfectly maps iPad apps, balances a massive camera array, and fits right in your pocket. But they called it Ultra, and we all know that guarantees it's going to carry an Ultra price check. With a closed state that feels like a major downgrade and a primary focus entirely on the unfolded iPad Nano experience, you really have to ask yourself, in today's economy, is this strange new form factor going to be a totally tough sell? It's a massive departure for Apple, and it's certainly not for everyone. But for those wanting a truly pocketable iPad with zero compromises on the camera, well, this might just be the strangest, most fascinating device of the year. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the design around you.